Hey everyone, welcome back to Shop Life. In this video, I'm going to hopefully solve a lot of people's problems with their AC or even their heat when the blower is not working. So this is a very common issue on the E46 where the blower will stop working, and sometimes it'll still work if you put it on the highest setting, but oftentimes it just cuts out completely and your blower motor is still fine, all the fuses are fine. It's usually the blower motor resistor, which is what we're going to replace today. The resistor itself is like a whole unit and it's about 30 to 50 bucks depending on where you buy it from. I like to use OEM manufacturers or the genuine part if possible, if it's not too expensive. And I'll link the product down below from ECS Tuning. If you use that link, it's an affiliate link, so it helps me out a little bit. It helps me make these videos for you guys. So if you can support me, just go ahead and do that. Anyways, let's get on with the video. So once again, this resistor, what will happen if it's bad is your fan will not work. So you will not feel any air coming out of any of the vents unless you have it all the way on high speed or like somewhere around medium and high, so low speed just stops working, or sometimes it won't work at all. So this is a lot easier to fix than actually replacing the blower motor itself. So this is a good idea to go ahead and knock it out. Alright, so in order to do this, you do have to remove the glove box. So first things first, go ahead and empty everything out. Once it's out, we're going to remove the 6 Phillips screws. That way we can pull the whole glove box out. So there's one right here. It's right behind this suspension strap. There's one on the bottom corner right here, which goes into the dash. There's 3 along the top. And there's one more on the other side. With all the screws removed, now we can remove the glove box. So you want to slide it up and towards you. There are 2 hooks on each side, or there's 1 hook on each side, right here and right here. So that's why you want to slide it up and towards you. Now you want to remove the electrical connectors. Get them out of their sections. And this one right here for the flashlight. The flashlight just has 2 tabs. Just squeeze the 2 tabs and pull it out. The one for the glove box light you can just pull straight out. Now we're going to remove this lower footwell cover. First you want to disconnect the light. Just pull it straight out just like the glove box light. Now get this section out from right here first, where it meets the dash. You see there's like a little metal clip that hugs the dash from behind. Then you have 2 clips, just like 2 little hooks that go into this yellow container. So you just want to pull it straight out. Make sure you're pulling it straight out. That way you don't break those hooks. These are the 2 hooks. Put that to the side. Alright, so those green wires and that lower Torx bolt, that is the final stage resistor. So what you can see is we're going to remove the connector first, and then remove that T20 bolt, and then there's a retaining tab right there. So you're going to have to push the tab so you can pull the whole unit out. And this is located, so there's the vent. So you want to go on top of this harness. So you're going to go in, and it's going to be up in this corner. Alright, so let me pull the unit out and I'll show you guys exactly how it looks. So this is the connector. There's 2 tabs. So you want to push the 2 tabs in and then pull the connector off. So once you have that off, then you'll have better access to the unit itself and you can pull off that bolt. So the bolt is a T20, so you want a long screwdriver, skinny preferably, so that you can get it on the bolt and pull it off. You might have to pull this vent a little bit so you can get better access. Here's the bolt. Alright, so you can see that screw all the way in the back. So that screw is located on the top of this vent behind the white motor. So you want to remove that top screw, and that screw is for the top left of the blower motor resistor. So once you have that screw off, then you should be able to pull the actual resistor itself out. Alright, so once you've pulled off the lower screw and that top screw, you can see this whole section is able to pull out. So when you move that out of the way, then you have better access to the actual blower motor resistor, which is right there. You can see the connector, where the connector plugs in. So what you want to do is you want to be very careful, don't damage that at all. You can even try to go from underneath. Push that retaining tab out of the way. Alright, so here's the tab that you want to push apart. You want to push this tab towards the engine and then pull this by the actual connector itself. And then you should be able to wiggle it out. So here's the unit. We got a bolt on the top and a bolt on the bottom. So once you pulled both of those bolts off, then that whole assembly that's in front of this covering it, you can remove that around. And then there's a tab on this side, so you have to push the tab towards the engine, and then you have to pull this out by the connector. So what you could do is, if you don't want to unhook the connector first, leave the connector on, and that can help you tug on it. You don't really want to tug on the wires too much, but if that makes it easier, you can try to do that. And then once you have this whole assembly pulled out, then remove the connector with the two tabs. So here's the old one. We're going to be replacing it with the bare unit as well. This one is a different style. As you can see, it is a little bit smaller, but everything still is the same as far as the connector and everything goes, so it should go right back in. Alright, so we're going to push it in first, and then we'll secure the other two bolts, and then hook up the connector last. Alright, so once you have it clipped back in, you should be able to push this tab back over it, and it should be right in its place. And now we can secure everything back together. So you want to get this cover back on first. Alright, so make sure if you did pull this out all the way, make sure it goes back into the groove. Once that's back in, then the bolt should be able to line right back up. Once you have the top bolt secure, also secure the lower bolt, which is also a T20. This is very hard to show, as you guys can tell, but once you're down there, you should be able to tell right away, especially by the way I'm showing you what direction it's in. There's not really many bolts around there anyways. And make sure you're using a good screwdriver, so that way you don't strip the head. With both screws secure, now here's the connector. And we're just going to plug it right back in. You should hear both tabs click in place. You can try tugging on it to make sure it's in there. And then you're done. Now we can begin reassembly with this lower panel first. What you want to do is slide it in place first. Make sure all the vents and everything line up. You can get this metal clip behind the dash. The metal clip behind the dash. Now you want to slide in these two tabs. Be very careful. Once you have them in place, just slide it right in. Make sure everything is still in the right spot. Make sure none of the wires are getting kinked. Then you can plug in the footwell light. Now we're going to hook up the glove box again. For the glove box, first you want to route all the wires back. So you've got the flashlight wire, which routes through this bottom section right here. And it plugs in to the flashlight holder. Then you also have the glove box light. Plugs in right here. Now you want to make sure that the wire is getting tucked back up. And then when you're putting the glove box back in, the 2 tabs on the top have to slide in. And also on the bottom, it has to slide into that lower footwell panel. Make sure there's no wires getting kinked anywhere. Make sure all the tabs are slid in, everything looks like it should. And then you can start securing the screws back. So we've got the 2 on the sides. I'm not tightening them down all the way just yet. First I'm going to hook all the screws back in, and then once I have everything threaded in, then I'll go back around and tighten everything. You have the 3 on the top. And then you have the one on the bottom that goes into the dash. Now with all the bolts secure, you should be finished with the whole job. You can test everything out by just turning on the AC, heater, or whatever you want to turn on, and the fan should be working at all speeds. And it's working. Working through all the speeds. Alright, so that's it for this DIY. Hope you guys enjoyed it and hope it helps you out. And if that does not solve your issue with the whole fan, then chances are that your blower motor itself is bad. Anyways, thank you for watching. If you guys have any questions, feel free to leave a comment down below. Or if you need to get in touch with me, make sure you contact me through Instagram at ShopLifeTV. And also check out the vlog channel, ShopLife Vlogs, and also check out my girlfriend's channel for her E46 with the LS3 swap at BMW Selena.